If
Meaning
the
of
internet
being what?
gods, the internet gods are gracing us, we are going live right now.
We are.
Yeah. God, I wish I could have that moment back. Anyway, welcome. I'm Johnny. That's the Greg. Welcome to the
How you doing?
podcast, everybody. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm wearing my seasonal shirt. I'm going to be wearing seasonal shirts until it's no longer the season.
Funny you said that. I'm going to wear Spider-Man shirts until I see the damn movie.
Oh, all right.
I'm just getting
All
jacked
right.
up for this thing. I can't stand. Speaking of Spider-Man, really quick, did you see
Yeah.
the Spider-Verse trailer?
I did.
You didn't like it?
I was less impressed by it than because literally, like we watched Into the Spider-Verse last night just as like a family movie time, and then right after that, my son's like, "Dad, the new teaser trailer came out," and I was like, "Okay, well, let's watch it." And I didn't really like that animation when he's fighting Spidey 2099.
Oh yes, okay, I get you that. That looks very chicken scratch.
Yeah, so I don't know. That might not be a finished product,
Right.
Or maybe it is, and I think they're going to be hopping animation styles as they go through the multiverse. That just judging by that, if it is a finished product and that's what they put out, I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay,
so
interesting. Well, they're gonna have to push the envelope for sure a little bit. You just can't have status quo. So
they knocked it out of the park with the first one. So I really have every confidence in the creative team behind that film.
Now, the problem with that is they knocked it out of the park, but no one was expecting to get knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be like, oh, what are they going to do now?
Right.
I think that's
the problem. And just, again, the guy's names, I don't have them up for me. I think Lord is one of them. Like Philip Lord or Phil.
Okay.
I don't think they went into the first movie. I don't think they went into the Spider-Verse without having their next steps planned out.
Okay.
I think they probably went into there and said, whether we get 3 movies or not, we need to have 3 movies of material that can each exist as a standalone film.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's probably what they did.
Okay.
Just guessing.
I hope we see the Inheritors, but I don't think we're going to see that in.
I don't know.
That's too vicious, but
anyway. Too vicious. I would say too comic booky, like too much.
Oh, I want to see more of them somewhere down the line. I do. I want to see it. Anyway, those of you, if you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe. And because it's the holiday season, not only do we have a great gift idea for you, but we've also are giving you a gift because we are partnered by Audible. Greg, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, if you would like 30 days free of charge of Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/JATG and you can sign up and get 30 days free. They have hundreds of thousands of audiobooks for you to enjoy over the Christmas season. Everything from like Christmas books to mystery to adventure to urban fantasy, which is kind of what I'm in right now. Along with audiobooks, they have thousands and thousands of your favorite podcasts, including this one that you can download and listen to while you're in the car, while you're at work, while you're on the treadmill or in the gym. It's one of those great services. Audiobooks really saved me as a person with dyslexia that reads super slow. I'm able to get into all those best-selling books at a good rate and have great conversations still with friends of mine. So if you like 30 days free, you can get that at audibletrial.com/JATG.
Boom. And I'm not going to add anything to it. You did it.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better at
it. You're getting really good at it.
I'm getting pretty good.
Yes. I think I'm getting a little bit better at. Take it away, Greg.
I appreciate that. I do.
All right, guys. On the format today, we are going to be talking about a little bit about that holiday season here. So there's Christmas shopping, and how has that changed? Has it changed? What will it look like in 10 years? Tune in and we'll figure it out. And then we're going to handle a little bit heavier of a conversation with Topic Thunder. And then we're going to go into a new segment called what's it called, Greg?
It's going to be called WTF.
WTF.
Is the WTF, which if you're not familiar with that, and we're not necessarily a kid show, so it's what the fuck. And then it's going to be called our WTF section, which something hit me this week and it's been going on for a long time. We'll get to it at the end of the show, so you can hang out and hear about that. But it's just one of those things that just makes you go, "What the fuck is that person doing?"
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in this world right now.
There is
We're going to feature some of it.
I used to have my rants about it with the whole public restroom thing.
We did, we did. Yeah. So, all right.
So let's get into it, man. Have you caught up? Are you caught up Christmas shopping? Is it done?
Oh God, no.
No? Are you a last minute guy?
I'm a whenever the paycheck hits guy.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's usually how it goes. My wife works freelance, so it is feast or famine. And the way we set up the finances is that a lot of the bills get taken care of through my employment, and then any of the extra stuff like Christmas gifts or any other kind of gift giving comes out of her stuff. So it is, like I said, it's just a matter of when you're a freelancer, kind of the normal business practice is you are the last to get paid for your efforts. So as businesses work out whatever they're trying to do, they pay her, and then we go Christmas shopping. So,
I'm sure it gets pretty tight around this time of year.
It really does
in terms of like budget wise, and I can see companies holding off. And
I think that's with everybody, though. The other thing is, I mean, we've talked about this before. I work for a nonprofit, and nonprofits don't do Christmas bonuses or end of year bonuses or anything like that. And before that, I was a teacher, so it's not like I was getting a bonus anyway. You get like a coffee cup with the school's name on it, or maybe a pen. And that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, I got a pen. I probably still have a couple.
I get cheap
laying around. Expect excellence. As I had a bunch of those laying around for a while.
That'll motivate.
But so I mean, it's we, that's kind of what it is, and so we go whenever we get paid, and we try to plan for it, but like I said, sometimes it's not possible. So, but it has changed. I mean, the topic is how has it changed? So I remember when I don't even know if we were married yet. We were dating, but staying down at my parents' on like for Thanksgiving, and then waking up at the ass crack of dawn on Black Friday to drive up to Madison. And
remember when you had all that energy, Greg?
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen anymore. But we'd go to the west side of Madison, which had a large shopping center.
West Side?
West Town Mall. Like the first place you hit is Best Buy. And we weren't like camping out. We weren't doing that level of nuttiness.
I've never done that. That's crazy stuff.
But we would head in, the line wrapped all the way around Best Buy. Excuse me, sometimes up and down the aisles. I mean, because you're just standing in line for that long. So it was like a game. It was one of us would immediately get in line. And that is how long we had to grab all the stuff we were going to buy for presents at Best Buy. And it was usually me standing in line. And of course, I'm making friends with everybody in line.
Right. Yeah.
So it goes by pretty quick, but you're there possibly an hour, maybe 2 hours in line. Yep. Make your way around the store
to grab your stuff to get into another line.
Yep. As Krista was running around and like, here, hold on to this. Nope. We changed our mind. I'm going to go put this back and you're going to hold this, and doing all of that. And then after Best Buy, it was like, head over to Kohl's, which Kohl's is pretty nationwide, I think. Kohl's department store, and then make that round, maybe go to like a Target or a Walmart, hit up the mall just to see what's there. And then it was lunch at Chili's, and then we'd hit up Barnes and Noble and spend a couple hours there just perusing books, probably still buying gifts, and then we go to a movie, and then it was home.
Wow. So you guys had it all planned out.
But we did, and we were done shopping. Like we had everybody.
Okay.
We had all the siblings, we had both sets of parents, we had each other done. I mean, it was done.
Great.
And that hasn't happened in probably 15 years.
Yeah, I would imagine that since kids kids
made it.
Kids kind of have a way of what you used to do.
They
throw it just out the window. It's just thrown out. You're like, no, we have a kid.
I think we tried it once when our firstborn was super little and like left her with my mom, and it just wasn't
The
We're
same.
getting phone calls all the time, and you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Not that was bad, but it was just like this isn't as convenient as it once was.
Right.
And because we had a baby or a toddler, at least, it became like the presents you were buying, like you couldn't do everybody at once because you couldn't fit it in the vehicle. Because now we were going to Toys R Us and buying stuff for, you know, it was just like, no, this isn't working. So
I don't have, I don't, we never did a thing like that. We were always pretty much, it's funny. We're reversed now. We were always wait till the last minute because it was just us. We didn't care. We had the time. If we need to stay out till midnight, we need to stay out till midnight. That's just how it was.
Sure.
And now we have a very good mixture of, we got all the kids gifts, like all the siblings and kids gifts. And now it's just picking up the I forgot to get my work buddy a little gift card or something like that. And we're at that stage. But it's crazy how, like, going to the mall, even Best Buy was something. I walked into a Best Buy the other day and shelves are empty. Like,
there is still like definitely a shipping crisis,
right? And I'm just shocked at. And I walked through a mall. I think the last time I walked through a mall was this summer, and you swear to God, you see a tumbleweed go past you.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I went into a mall proper.
And that, when you and I were teenagers, even in college, that was
that was the place to be. Yeah. If you needed stuff, you went to the mall.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And then I see these shops open up that I don't think could have opened up before. Like, I'll tell you the perfect one. There's a great new store in Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg, Illinois. For all you geek guys out there that love to go to that area, there is this huge place that just opened up where they sell like statues, like, you know, really cool statues. They have hats, shirts, any type of comic book geek apparel. It's there. You want to buy the Thor axe? It's there. You want to buy the Eye of Agamotto? It's there. You want to buy the toys of the Infinity Saga? It's there. They have it all there.
This is a like brand new kind of shop?
It's new. And my thought process was, wow, that's great. I wonder how long this is going to stay up. Like, it's just, it's, and not only how long is it going to stay up, but my first thought was, wow, I bet 10 years ago, number one, this wouldn't have been popular. Like, this wouldn't have commanded the space.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
And I don't know if that has a lot to do with the comic book craze of movies.
It totally
does. It does? Okay.
Yeah.
And not only that, all the shows that are now on out there and stuff
Disney
like
Plus
that,
and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So next time you guys are in Illinois, you're next to Schaumburg, you definitely want to take the family to that. It's right up your alley. I thought of that one.
It's a good time to be a nerd, and it's a good time to be a nerd with money.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cool stuff up there.
But now I think Ursula has almost done all the shopping on Amazon.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Even with that shop, which I'm sure is very cool, and you could go in there and look at stuff, unless they're having like a sale.
Yep.
I'm going to go in there, look at stuff, and I'm going to have my phone out.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm going to be comparison shopping to Amazon.
Yeah. And the brick and mortar stores, they're going bye-bye, man. They're going real, unless you're a grocery store or a Target store.
I look at like gaming shops. Like there's a great, not quite GameStop, because that's more video games, but I'm talking about like tabletop RPG.
Oh, okay.
There's a great chain of stores in the Milwaukee area called Board Game Barrister. They're really good. Another one called Game Universe, and that's where you can go in and buy like D&D stuff, D&D minis, paints, Warhammer 40K. I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they have like gaming space available as well. That's kind of what's keeping those places alive. Is that
the people that go in the back room?
Yeah, back rooms, side rooms. I mean, I just found out Pegasus Games, which has been in Madison, Wisconsin for decades, and is like a mainstay like gaming store since I think late 70s, early 80s. They're now annexing the stores next to them to open up these large gaming spaces, because that's what they need to survive, is to bring people in, offer these giant gaming spaces, tables, hosting tournaments, things like that, and then people will buy stuff while they're there. Or there's like, if you're going to run a tournament, here's the tournament fee, It's like you have to pay the tournament fee. You have to buy this box of cards if it's a card game, and then you get to play. I mean, so different ways to set that up. But I don't know where I was going. Just the idea, like even still, I go into a game shop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can get this on Amazon. Let me see where it's at. I mean, and it's a lot of comparison.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes Amazon doesn't beat, they might beat the price, but they don't beat the convenience because I'm right there right now and I can grab it.
That's another thing right now. The only problem with Amazon is you don't know when you're getting it. I remember we were sweating a couple of gifts and then they came in like this week. I was like, thank God, because I didn't think we'd make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I was actually really motivated to get all the gifts this year just simply because I was scared to death of giving some. I don't know why I was scared to death, but I didn't want to have the, hey, I owe you. It's coming January 1st through February 3rd. So hang in.
We've got that with a couple gifts.
Okay.
Not that they're ordering or coming late. We're just on the hunt for them to try to get them before Christmas.
Yeah.
And if we don't, then yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to give them a Christmas card with like being married to a graphic designer. She'll make some cool little card or something that says, "Hey, this is on its way," or I hate doing that, but like even just like the gift card for the thing that we want to get.
Yes, exactly.
It's not terrible. I mean, it still shows that you've put the thought in and you've worked to get it, but it just didn't work out. So, I don't hate gift cards as much as some people do.
I don't hate them either. I think I prefer anybody that wants to get me something, get me a gift card. If you don't know what to give me a gift card at, call me.
What's funny, I saw, I can't remember what sitcom did it, but they gave the kids gift cards and the kids were pissed. They got gift cards. They're like, what's wrong with that? It's as good as cash. They're like, no, you gave us cash for one spot where you could have given us cash for any spot. And I'm like, okay.
That's a sitcom being funny.
Yeah, I know. And I understand it to a point, but like if I got you a gift card to like a local, like Chicago based comic book shop or something like that would mean I went out of my way to get that.
Right.
So I still think there's some meaning there, like Grand Cracker Comics or something like that. They're all in the Chicago area.
I hear you.
Anyway.
Now I have to drive all the way out there to spend.
But anyway. Lots of Amazon. I mean, the kids are forbidden from opening packages.
Oh yeah, because they can open up through
Christmas. They could. I mean, that's a possibility. They can open up something, and like Chris and I are ordering through. I mean, usually we order through the same Amazon account, but now through Amazon Prime, you can share with like family members and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, if it's addressed to me, don't open it. If it's addressed to mom, don't open it. And then we don't open it either. Like, I'm not opening things addressed to her. She's not opening things addressed to me because they're
makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. I wonder how it's going to change in 10 years. Like when your daughter is for the starting, maybe she has a husband at that time, or who knows. What is she? She's 15 now, so she'd be 25. Okay, I didn't know if I overshot.
16, but she's almost 17.
Okay, so
but you're absolutely right.
So she might
26,
be in
27.
She could have getting it for a significant other.
Yeah,
hopefully, maybe.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to think how much it could change.
You know what I'm picturing?
What
your computer, the camera, or you get a camera or your phone or whatever. It's going to take a digital outline of you, like profile, side, front, back, and then it's going to, like, let's say you go on to Gap and it's going to find how many are in your size. Yeah, how many are in your size for that, and then you can pick them out. I think the brick and mortar stores in 10 years are going to be gone, man. Like the specialty stores, like those Gap stores. I think they're going to be gone. Express, they're going to be gone. I think all those stores are on their way out, and they're just looking at the future of the, hey, man.
Yeah, I mean, the retail space is definitely going to change. I don't think
certain stores will stay open. Starbucks,
yeah, but like Amazon's slowly taking over the world. I mean, 10 years we could be just, do you want to do Google or do you want to do Amazon? And that's going to be how you're going to get products,
right?
Because that's what it's going to be, and unless some kind of global community comes in and tells Amazon they need to split because they're a monopoly. I don't know how that's going to change. And I don't know about I mean, Domino's is doing automated delivery
in
drones.
Houston, right?
Yeah.
In Houston.
Yep.
It's
I don't
not
know
a
how
drone. It's not a drone. It's a car.
but it's self-driven. So
Yes. You go over
so
there.
it's still a drone. It's just a
I think you put
Land Rover.
your phone up, the Q code matches,
QR
the QR
code.
code
Yeah.
matches, and it opens up and you get your pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Amazon's actually doing the flying drones. But to me, that's like skeet shooting for presents. So
Absolutely.
I don't know how all of that is really gonna end up working, but it's that I think that's the future. I mean, it's going to be drop off stuff at your door. Um, home security is going to get big because porch pirates are still a thing. I think
there's going to have to be some sort of a drop box moving forward,
and I think that's what's probably going to happen. I mean,
your box is going to have to be this protected.
If I were making a house right now, if I were building a house, I would have I would build a garage with some kind of access port.
Yeah.
That would be
packages.
for an Amazon delivery type setting, like a drop.
No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
So, I think that's definitely going to be that's going to be the thing. Is that, I mean, even during COVID, when it was really hard to go shopping, it was Amazon Christmas pretty much all around.
I think the best thing that ever happened to those online places, whether it be even TV streaming or any of that, was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It forced people that never wanted to do it, that they had to do it, and then they realized, oh, this ain't so bad.
Well, I don't know if Gwen makes a Christmas list yet, or if she does, how tangible that is, like a Christmas list, like a wish list.
Oh no, she doesn't.
Okay,
we tried actually. I put out the Target toy. Remember they used to do that.
Remember the JC Penney toy catalog.
Yes,
I mean, just
to do that
thick ass catalog,
huge book, and my mom would hand that to me and go, "What do you want?" And right to the back to go to the toys.
I don't know why, but for a couple of years, the lingerie section was right in front of the toy section. So it was like, flip. What's this? And then you start flipping a little slower, and then you get to the toy section. And then it was, here's some cool stuff. Get to the pink section. Screw that. And then you get to the action figures.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. But we gave it to Gwen. We showed Gwen the little Target catalog, and she I want this, and she hit everything.
Yep.
Everything. When we said, "Hey, what would you like?" She went this, like she doesn't know. She was hitting on like dinosaurs. She's never shown an inkling towards a dinosaur.
When everything is highlighted, nothing is highlighted.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it comes with. But I mean, my kids are teens, so it was funny when they were younger, and then we'd be in a department store, and they'd be like, "I want to show you something." We're like, "Put it on your list," and to them, that meant like we were actually writing it down and putting it on a list somewhere.
Yeah.
Eventually Krista started like, well, here, take my phone and take pictures of everything. So like her Google Photos has like toy pictures from 12 years ago. I'm like, you can delete that.
Yeah, you can probably delete that now.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then that became the list until, I don't know, it was like a year or two ago. We just told them, we're like, guys, there's no list. They're like, what? It was almost like we told them a certain Jolly Elf didn't exist.
Yeah.
They were like, what? We're like, there's no list. We just told you to put it on a list. And you went, okay, just to get you to stop showing us shit. And they were just devastated.
Floored.
It was awesome.
You realize what you did?
So, but now they realize, like, if they want something, they go on Amazon. They each have a wish list.
Oh, and they just hit that.
They just put it on there. And so, like,
when
when the grandparents are like, hey, what do the kids want for Christmas? We just email them or text them the link to their Amazon wish list. And I'm like, here it is. And you don't have to shop for it. You can order it right from Amazon. You get them exactly what they're asking for. And poof, you're the best grandparent in the world.
Do you actually know what my daughter wants? You know what Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah.
The new one on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
She wants the Green Goblin toy of that kind. I was like, you want the Green Goblin? She's like, yeah, he's the best bad guy. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
You should see. I got her web slinger shooters, right?
Yeah.
She can actually manage it. And when she hits the dog, she goes, and I'm like, you're not supposed to be the bad guy.
That's great.
But she likes it. Anyway, for those of you that are still listening or will be listening to this, put it in the comment section or on the live stream right now. What are your Christmas shopping back in the day? What do you think it's going to be in 10 years from now? How do you think it's changed? What's the drastic change? Let us know.
Here's a question. Do you try to like shop local? Do you make an attempt at getting that unique item that they can't find anywhere else?
No. I'm ashamed. It depends. I don't have anybody saying to me, I need this from this. Like what people, when they want something, it's usually here's the thing with Ursula and I, we don't get each other gifts because when we want something, we just get it.
Yeah. But is gift giving your love language? Have you ever done that test where you figure out your love language?
No, I don't think it's our gift because I've never felt bad if I never received a gift from her. And I don't,
okay.
And she's the same way. She enjoys flowers more than she would enjoy a gift. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
I think also we share the account, so maybe that's a little bit harder for me to.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago about how accounts change throughout my marriage, and that has made it harder to buy gifts. Right. But my love language is gift giving and gift receiving, as it's in my top 3. And
where is that? I like to take that, and I'm sure anybody else that's
that is
what the hell is
this? It's Gary Paulson, I believe, is the author's name. I'm
Gary Paulson.
Trying to stare at my bookshelf. No, I don't think it is. Give me 2 seconds. But the whole idea is that he broke down languages of love. So how people like to express love, how people like to receive love. It's Gary Chapman. That's the name. So he came up with the 5 love languages. There's quizzes online that you can take everywhere. In fact, on our Thursday download, I'll put a link to one of the quizzes in the description.
Gary what?
Gary Chapman. Originally published in 92. So he said that there are different love languages of how people like to express and receive love. And he broke them down into 5. And they are, giving and receiving gifts, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and quality time. And that's how people like to express or receive affection and love from their significant other, or anybody really. And for some reason, gifts became very high on mine. And when I look back at how I was raised and how I observed my father and things like that, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So I would put a lot of thought and time into gifts for Krista, always. Like even when we're dating, I was getting her little things here and there, and she didn't give a shit at all. Because she was
that's hilarious.
Because she was words of affirmation and quality time. And so it was like it took a lot of learning on our parts to figure that out, because then when it became a gift giving event for me, birthday, or whatever, Christmas, and she would be like, here, I got you this shirt. And I'm like, oh, a shirt. Thank you. I mean,
you know what? When you're telling this story right now, I think I'm actually gift giving is one of mine too. And gift giving and receiving is one of it has to be mine too, because there are 2 times Ursula and I just started dating. We just told each other we loved each other. Mm-hmm. She went off to Cancun for spring break. She came back. She bought me a frosted mug. And I was like, thanks.
Thank you. Why?
Yeah. Of Senior Frogs or something like that. She bought me a frosted mug of Senior Frogs. And she's like, here. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Thanks. Yeah. I was like, but I remember that. And I remember actually, she's really like the movie Save the Last Dance or Save the Dance.
Okay. Save the Last Dance. Yeah.
It's with, it was an interracial relationship. It was a girl that like Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles. Yep.
Yes. Okay. and she really liked it. And I bought the movie and gave it to her because that's what we do with my fam, or that's how me and my mom and like that's how we get movies for each other. And she was like, "Oh, thanks." So she could give a shit. It's so funny. That's still in our video collection.
Yeah, and Chris and I, same deal. Like, had to figure each other out.
Yeah.
As far, I mean, there have been years where we've decided not to get each other anything, and she's totally fine with it. Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta get you something. I mean, it was like I had to go, and she'd be like, "You broke the rules." I'm like, "Yes, I did." So it was.
Yeah, I think if I were to say, it'd be acts of service and quality
time.
Yeah, I think that would be hers. I think. Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to figure out our love languages here.
That is a whole.
Yeah, that could be a completely different podcast. Anyway, let's move on to our second topic.
Yeah.
This one I think we're going to dive a little bit into. So let me set the boundary, or let me set the precedence for why I decided to make this an actual topic. In this topic, what I want to talk about and what I wanted to ask you, was basically, I heard there's this famous psychiatrist. She's on the radio all the time. People call her in, and she's very blunt. She's very conservative, but a lot of her things, if you think about it, it really makes sense. In terms of the love advice she gives. One of the things she said once that made me go, huh. She said, teenage boys are the most dangerous animal in this world. She said teenage boys, not teenage boy. So singularly, a teenage boy is fine. She says when they're in groups, they're the most dangerous animal in this world. Now, I just started watching a show called Yellow Jackets, and it's made me think, I think teenage girls are the most dangerous, most dangerous creatures in the world. And or a teenage girl is more dangerous than a group of teenage girls. Like, it's opposite. Do you think it's opposite? What do you think?
I think they're both pretty dangerous, to tell you the truth. Because we did not discuss this topic before.
No, we didn't.
This is fresh. So I'm immediately taken back to the mid 90s or 1997 hit science fiction film Men in Black, where Tommy Lee Jones as Agent K says, a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
Yes.
And that kind of encapsulates what you're talking about. Now, the question would be, which group is more dangerous? Is it girls or is it guys? I think psychologically, the girls are more dangerous because they will attack.
Did you look over there to see if they were in earshot?
No. This is where I'm thinking, but they're totally in earshot. I think girls are more dangerous as a group because psychologically they will try to tear down your character and destroy the world around you. And watch. I mean, they will absolutely set fire to your entire surrounding and then laugh at you as it burns to the ground.
They can't get that evil. I agree.
They can. They totally can.
Absolutely.
And boys, it's pure Lord of the Flies, where it is survival of the fittest, and we will kill the weakest as a group. And I think definitely times have changed in terms of like physical violence. In fact, it's very telling this week. My kids came home and we got a letter or email emergency service from the school district that said there was a medical incident at school today. What it was, someone got in a fight and someone cracked their head on a floor. So they had to call the ambulance, stuff like that. But anytime the ambulance shows up at school, they send out an email saying, yes, medical services were called at school today. There was an ambulance up front.
So it's like a mass email.
Yeah, it's a mass email, and my kids were not involved in this altercation. But because it's 2021, they had video of it and they showed it to me, and it was in the girls' bathroom. Two girls confronting another girl, blah 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 blah, and it came to an actual fight. The next day,
time out.
Yeah,
you saw a video of girls in a bathroom.
They were like in the entrance of the bathroom, not like in the stall.
Okay, I was like, is that illegal? Is that?
Oh, it's completely illegal.
Okay.
You mean there shouldn't be a camera in there anyway,
Right? Yeah.
but everybody's got a cell phone, and they were.
There
was nothing weird about it.
I'm misunderstanding. Okay.
Yeah, it was, kind of by the sinks, and two girls kind of, you said this. Well, fuck you. You don't know me. No, fuck you. You did that. This kind of back and forth.
Right.
And then it became push, headlock, shove, and then like little rabbit punches like this. And you're like, how did that happen? But one girl got a handful of hair and went and knocked someone's head on the floor, just from what I could tell. And so that constituted an issue.
Now, hang on a second, real quick with that. Let's just break that down for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The psychology there. That's where I think, I think you're getting to it too. That's where it's dangerous, because for the next 10 years, those girls need to watch each other's backs.
Correct.
Because they're coming and you just don't know.
That's
I think if that were to happen
at the 15-year reunion, those girls will be at odds.
Yes. Whereas 15 years from now.
Hold on. The next day, two guys got in a fight. And even the night before, and I explained to my kids, I said, when girls get into a fight, this is what it looks like. When guys get into a fight, which hardly ever happens. I taught high school for 15 years. I saw one time when dudes would get into a fight. I saw 2-3 girl fights every year. And the dudes, it's swing, hit, someone drops. That's it. And then it's over. Like everybody goes away. No one's following up. I mean, or it gets split up or whatever.
Right.
And then somehow magically these guys, they're not okay with each other, but
there's a respect
there, but then they avoid each other. It's just like, there's not a follow-up fight.
Yes.
And 15 years later, or in my case, at the 25-year reunion, when I'm sitting next to a dude and he goes, do you remember when we got into a fight? And I go, yeah, I do. Do you remember? He's like, yeah. And then we laughed about it.
Right.
It was kind of weird, but it was like, yeah, no, we're cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where women will never talk to each other again.
You're right. As far as those girls are concerned, you have poured salt on the ground. It is no longer growable between us.
It is fucking scorched earth, baby.
Yes.
We are done.
Yes. Yeah. And that's, so I think, so I'm going to throw it out to the rest of you guys that are listening out there. Who do you think is more dangerous? Teenage boys, teenage girls? Let us know. And I'm saying teenage because you think you're an adult, but you're not an adult. So cooler heads don't prevail.
Not at all.
And teenage boys tend to egg each other on. You tend to do things you will never do if you were by yourself.
Well, and I think where that psychologist is talking about is,
by the way, it's Dr. Laura.
I figured it was Dr. Laura. And not to put words in her mouth, but I mean, the teenage boy, you will say things. I mean, but that's through guys in their 20s, like catcalling women and saying certain things. And even looking at the online community where boys or kids are playing online video games and they think they're anonymous.
Yes.
And it becomes degrading. It becomes racial. It becomes all these things that they would never say out in public by themselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So piggybacking on that, there was a tragedy that happened. Yeah. So take us through that a little bit.
Okay. So, and this isn't quite where I was headed with this in terms of who's more dangerous, but it's a different topic. There was a school shooting in Michigan, and that's right. It's one of those situations where they actually did apprehend the shooter. It's a young man and brought a handgun to school. Unfortunately, did kill some students and injure a bunch of other ones. But they have
one guy actually sacrificed himself, right?
Yep. One
forgot his name.
Was a hero and just tried to take down the shooter. Right. And and I don't have any of the articles up.
Yes,
I know. Or else I would definitely say his name. But what's interesting about this, and this is where this could become a real groundbreaking case because it could set precedent, is that they have charged the parents of the shooter. not just the shooter. He's in charge. He's being charged with all the felonies that he should be charged with. But then they went after the parents, and they're going after them for involuntary manslaughter because how they gave this kid, their son, access to a firearm. How it seems like there were warning signs that this could happen and they ignored them. And like when it was put out there, the cops said, you know what, we want to bring in the parents and actually talk to them. They pulled $4,000 out of their bank account and ran.
Whoa.
Yes. So
the
they
parents ran?
The parents live a couple hours outside of Detroit. And so they, on Friday, somehow they had learned that the police are going to come pick them up and possibly charge them with involuntary manslaughter. So before that, before the police could get there, they went to an ATM, pulled out $4,000, and then disappeared. And it was like, where are they? Like they couldn't find them. And so the article I read said that they had gone into to Detroit and found like this is like an art studio / warehouse where they had a personal connection with the owner, and they were hiding out. When the police caught them, they were like hiding in this tiny room, almost a closet, like trying to be quiet and not get caught. One of the reasons they found them is because when the news broke that we're looking for these parents and they can't be found, and they are going to be charged, their contact, it doesn't say their friend, it says like an acquaintance, was like, oh no, I'm not a part of this at all, they're right there.
Yeah.
And so they were able to arrest these parents. They've pleaded not guilty. The arraignment is excuse me, the arraignment was recorded. It's online. You can go watch it, where they plead not guilty to all the charges of involuntary manslaughter, because I believe it's 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for each person that was killed in the shooting. So there were 4 students that were killed, and they plead not guilty to all of them. And the prosecution is saying because the gun that the kid used, he said, my parents bought this for me for Christmas and gave it to me early. They do shooting sports as a family, which, just to be very clear, I'm okay with the Second Amendment. I'm okay with
me too.
If parents are taking their kids shooting and teaching them gun safety,
teaching them responsibility.
I think that's a good thing.
I agree.
But the kid there's like this string of events that happened at school where, one, he was looking up ammunition on a school computer, which automatically red flags things. Like it'd be the same as like looking up porn on a work computer. Your IT office is going to be like, hey, you can't do that here. Anytime someone starts looking for any kind of weapons on a school computer, it is red flagged. They know who's doing it. You know, they can tell the computer, they can freaking turn your camera on and watch you do it. So they did. I mean, they caught this kid looking up stuff, and they're like, hey, you can't, what are you looking up ammunition for? And he's like, well, my family does shooting like as a family activity. And so like they brought in the guidance department, they brought in the parents. The parents are like, yeah, this is BS that he's in trouble for this. And they went, well, no, he can't do that here.
You know, I'm going to stop you there for a second.
Okay, because there's more.
Oh, I'm sure
there's
tons more. At first, my first thought, okay, when you told me that they were going to charge the parents, I thought that's not their fault. But when, as 2 parental adults in the wake of a tragedy and their sons behind it,
right, they
decide to pull out money and run.
That
made huge. Me go, okay, well, there's obviously, these parents are obviously, I don't know how to frame the words, so I'll just let you continue. But it's that changed my mind. Like, these parents should see, these parents need to be talked to by authorities.
If it was just that they bought the kid a gun and that the kid was looking up ammunition, that I would say, okay, they're exercising their Second Amendment rights. There's really nothing wrong with this. That would be my first reaction.
That was my first reaction too.
If that was the only thing. It's not the only thing. So then the kid, like the following day, and I'm trying to get the article back that I was reading. The following day, the kid, they found his notebook, or a teacher saw his notebook, which was full of sketches of shootings, like of a person shooting a bunch of other people in what looked to be a school type building, blood everywhere. And there was there was a saying. Okay. So this was on November 30th, the morning of the shooting. The teacher observed drawings of the shooter that raised concerns in the shooter. I'm not going to say his name because fuck that guy. The county prosecutors said the drawings featured images of a gun, a person who had been shot, a laughing emoji, and the words "blood everywhere" and "the thoughts won't stop. Help me."
Oh,
that was in his notebook. So they bring him in. They talk to him. They talk to his parents and say, "What's going on?" The kid says, he claimed to be the drawing was part of a video game he was designing. And after school officials asked very probing questions regarding the student's potential harm to himself or others, his answers, which were confirmed by parents, led the counselors to conclude that he did not intend to hurt anyone. So the parents came in and they're like, "Hey, what's this?" They're like, "No, he really is designing a video game, blah, blah, blah." At the time, the counselors did not believe the student might harm others based on his behavior, response, and demeanor, which appeared calm. Now, here's the other thing. The counselors did recommend that the parents seek immediate counseling, like within 48 hours for their kid, or the school would contact Child Protective Services. So it was, okay, you need to get him help right away. He's having dark thoughts, because judging by this notebook, even if it is for a video game, that's still inside his head. He needs to work out some stuff. So the parents said they were going to take him home for the day. When the parents asked to take them home for the day, they flat refused and left without their son, apparently to go to work. So the guidance counselors said, "Hey, this is bad. You need to get him help within the next 2 days, or else we're calling child services. Take him home with you today." And the parents said, "No, we need to go back to work," and left. So here's a kid. So here's a kid who's struggling with some dark stuff.
Yeah.
Where the school counselors, which are actual trained professional counselors, that's the license they get. And the parents said, "No, screw it. We're leaving." Because the kid had no previous infractions, the decision was made that he would return to the classroom rather than be sent home to an empty house, where they feared, because it was an empty house, they feared that he might hurt himself.
It sounds to me like this kid was raised in a very lonely, isolated environment.
It could be. It very well could be.
Yeah. So it's still a tragedy. It's still hurtful, and I get why they're taking action against the parents. I get it. Now,
what the prosecution said in the video I saw was that the guns in the house were kept unlocked. He knew where the ammunition was. Like, it was full access. The parents are saying, and
is that common though? Like in like a back, like I would think that'd be very common where I grew up. It'd be very common to have, or maybe if the gun rack was, or the gun or the gun case was, like what I'm talking about was, I remember going to several friends' houses where I grew up where they had a gun rack, and I'm talking about like a it almost looks like an armoire, or
sure, like it's got a glass door.
Yeah, it's got a glass thing, and none of us ever walked up to it and opened it or even tested the lock or anything. But I'm sure there were 50% were locked, 50% were open. Is that uncommon? I mean, you grew up with guns, right?
Right. I grew up. Yep. My dad was a hunter, so we grew up with shotguns in the house. I was never aware of dad owning a handgun He did own one rifle that was sometimes at the house and sometimes not. Like my grandfather would use it and stuff like that. Now, knowing where the guns were, I don't ever remember knowing where the ammunition was.
Were you a kid that played with toy guns?
Sure. Yeah, I had laser
okay.
tag, like stuff like that. I mean,
just curious.
yeah. Now I remember like in middle school when my brother was first really getting into hunting and stuff like that, he would go down and he would always want to clean the guns, or he'd take the pump action and he would like check the action on it and stuff like that. But it was just the gun, and there was never ammunition around there. So I think Dad kept the ammunition somewhere else, or I'm trying to, because I'm really trying to recall here, because I can picture where the gun case was in the basement.
Right.
It's possible like that was the locked section, like the door to the gun case was open where you could take the guns out, but the ammunition, which was kept in a lower section, was locked.
Okay.
That could have been it. Because I don't ever remember us having access to both. Well, I don't ever remember us having access to ammo or shotgun shells or anything like that.
Okay. Okay.
And even when we did go hunting, Dad gave us like 1 or 2 shells, because his philosophy was, how many do you need? Like if you miss once, okay. If you miss twice, you don't deserve to get it. So
okay. All right. I was just curious about that. I was around guns, but I never owned one. I was never in the house with one. Oh, no, that's not true. My mom had a small handgun, but I think I checked it out one time. But I was so scared that if I shot it, I remember thinking as a kid, I'd like to shoot this, but I thought, well, where the hell am I going to shoot this? And I can't shoot it in the closet. There's going to be a hole in the wall. I can't.
Right. Yeah. No.
I can't get away with this. So that's why I was just curious. That's all. So anyway.
Yeah. I mean, so anyway, the idea behind this is that there could be some very big precedents set if these parents are indeed found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, because excuse me, I don't think you could retroactively, maybe you can, I don't know the law well enough, but any parent of a kid that was involved in a shooting could possibly be charged if they were seen negligent in, which it really sounds like these parents were. There were red flags popping up.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they were really it sounded like they wanted to ignore more than they wanted to.
Like this isn't happening kind of stuff. I mean, the one case recently that went through trial is that Kyle Rittenhouse thing, where he had access to that AR rifle, like someone handed it to him.
Right.
Because he wasn't old enough to buy it himself. Somebody had to have it handed to him. And I've heard different stories of like his mom gave it to him, or maybe it was at somebody's house up in Wisconsin when he got there. I mean, whatever that is. And I'm not going to speculate on that because I'm not totally clear on that.
Right.
Someone handed it to him.
Right.
Like that's what happened. Someone handed it to him. So that person is probably paying really close attention to this case, because if they're found liable, that's an issue.
Yeah.
So interesting to see from a legal perspective what that means. Again, I don't think the gun is the issue. I think it is, especially in this case, possibly a mental health issue that when red flags are thrown up, and I don't believe it's the school's fault either. They were doing everything that they were legally allowed to do to say, get this kid help. Because you can't, I mean, the school is not allowed to take kids away from their parents. I mean, that's not the school's purpose, or do they have the ability to do that? So they suggested strongly that they do this. They try to get the kid out of their building. The parents just wouldn't take him. So what are you going to do with him? So I feel bad for the school for sure, as they were going by the book and trying to help people out. But by the way, I did look up that one hero, and his name is Tate Meyer. And
yes, Tate Meyer.
Yep. So all honors and thoughts and good prayers go out to the victims of that family. or the family of the victims. And, good on you, Tate. Hopefully God's got you up there saying, good job, young man. And that's it.
Yeah. So you had something you wanted to piggyback on this that you
let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't know if we should go into that. That might be a discussion we table for the next time.
You want to do that next time? We could.
Yeah, we should just probably go right to what the F, man.
Is that not my topic? I thought that was what we were going straight into.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. The other one you talked to me about on the phone today, where I said, "Is it really as bad as it seems to be?" and things like that.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah,
mostly because I don't remember what it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's something that kind of hit me. So I had to work this weekend. Because sometimes we get, as a corporate trainer, you get people that work weekends and they have jobs during the week and they can't make it to training. So it was my turn to draw the straw of working. So, you train and then you send them off to do computer training, you're doing check-ins, but I was pretty much tied to my desk all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So surfing around, checking the news, checking on things, and something popped up that really just triggered me a little bit of like what the hell? Who
triggered you mad or triggered you?
Just kind of like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you think that this is okay?
Okay.
And this is a little bit lighthearted. Like, we're not going heavy into this, but some people will still be triggered by this. And so I texted you and I said, we need a new segment on this show. And it's really just going to be called What the Fuck?
Okay.
Because when you see stuff like this, you see it on social media. It's almost like a not quite people of Walmart level, but you're looking at it going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why do you think that this is okay? So I'm just going to go ahead.
Show me this. I want to see this.
Share my screen right away.
Is this a story or is this a picture?
Well, this really could happen to anybody at anywhere at any time.
Okay.
Where we see it's in this case, it would be on airlines.
Okay.
So you imagine you're getting there, you get your 2 hours early, you're boarding the plane, you got your family with you, or maybe you're flying by yourself for business, whatever. And you sit down, you're snuggled in, you got your earbuds in, you're ready to watch a movie. The stewardess or flight attendant is doing their thing. And then that happens. You get can you see it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So this guy just had to relax, or this person had to relax and stretch out their feet over.
Pop the feet right over your head. And you're like, I mean, you can see they're dirty. Get dirty feet.
Well, right up there. It's not only look. Oh my God.
I mean, you got this, and is you got this guy, and like,
hey, what's the badge? Kid? What's the badge?
This is kid. Oh, the badge. I can't make it out
on the arm. You can't scan on that.
No, I can't. Well, I probably could, but I'm not gonna. It might get pixelated. But then you got this guy, which if this is you, fuck you, dude. I mean, what the hell? How were you raised? I mean, just the sanitary level of taking putting your feet on a plane where everybody.
This is common. This is common.
And you look at these horror stories that these flight attendants have to deal with of like feet and people like pleasuring themselves on late night flights. And
really,
I saw. Oh yeah, and I've seen.
I guess why not? Like, people pleasure themselves anywhere they want to. Really.
Oh, I can give you a million reasons why not.
I know what I mean by. I'm just saying. I don't know why that surprised me, but it did.
Yeah. So I mean, even I saw one where some woman must had a backpack or a carry-on bag full of like fast food trash and just emptied it in the seat next to him, just like unloaded. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I mean, people
strange, man.
People treating these planes like their own personal trash can in the air. And you're like, or that, hey, I paid how much for this seat? I'm going to get comfy.
Well, let's think about this. Okay. You're in a plane. What a plane basically is, or for you, okay, you're in a metal tube.
Yeah. You're in a metal tube of disgusting stuff.
Tube flying what? How fast is plane?
36,000 feet, about 500 miles an hour,
Yeah.
built by the lowest bidder. I mean, that's
Right.
that's really what a plane
you're
is.
And I think that really, the lowest bidder part, you're absolutely right, but that's really scary.
The one picture I didn't grab, and I should have, is the people that take the picture of like the armrest, like they're on the window seat,
yeah.
and someone's feet is just like sticking through on their armrest.
What would you do?
You know what? And I really had to think about this, because I mean, being a bigger guy, and I don't fly first class. So, I mean, I'm lucky if I can get up into like the business select or something,
Right,
where
yeah.
the seats are a little bit wider. I sit down in a seat, that thing is full. Like
Mhm.
I've got my whole body in there. My knees are on the seat, touching the seat.
For gentlemen like you and I, anybody that's over 6'3", I would say,
I would say if you're over 6 foot. I mean, if you're over 6 foot, you're pretty up close and personal.
very uncomfortable.
And then you get the guy or the person in front of you who does the.
Yeah, exactly.
They do that lean back, and you're like, and so that tray, that little folding tray becomes like a bib. Like that's up in my chest area. And I have no problem with accidentally doing the little boom. Oh, sorry, dude. I mean, just bumping that thing a little bit extra. Because you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm not leaning my seat back to give myself another room and crush somebody else behind me.
Right. I feel I'm very polite of other people on an airplane. And that, unfortunately for me, that means I'm extremely uncomfortable.
Yep. And I tend to fly Southwest, which is unassigned seating. Just pick the best one.
Yep.
And kind of one of the best things you can do, especially if I'm flying by myself for work or something, I'll find another big dude, and because they're usually either in the window seat or the aisle seat. Like a big dude will never voluntarily take the middle seat.
Right. Yeah.
Unless he's got like his kids on either side or his wife or something.
Right.
But I'll find another big dude in a row by himself and be like, guys, sit here. And they usually say yes. Because what do they care? But then you get two big dudes. No one's really taking that middle seat. Like they're just not going. They will really try to avoid taking that middle seat.
I agree.
So then we each get armrests, right?
Right.
But if I'm to the point where if someone is in that middle seat, I try to provide them that armrest, because if it's not, I know that I'm taking up like the whole thing. So that's about being considerate of your travel mates, I guess. Now, if someone's feet are poking through on my armrest,
that's
I paid for that armrest, or my company paid for that. Either way,
it's not only about pain; it's about the lack of respect.
It really is. And so this has
no problem taking a
little
pen.
This has never happened to me, but I can't say that I would not mess with that person in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I would I would lean my chair back possibly if they said, "Hey, can you sit up a little bit? Take your damn feet down." I can't say that. Yeah, I'm not going to take a pen and do that, or I can't say that I'm not going to just full on. Just like
that was my first instinct. I would probably do a glance back.
And maybe. But you know what? That's not a big guy back there, because there's no way a big dude
can do that. Yeah,
is bringing his knees up to his ears to make his feet fit in there to be more comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
I would probably check to see if it's a child, because I'm not going to do that to a kid. But I will tell the kid, "Hey, take your feet down."
Teenager, I'd do it too.
Maybe. But I'd give them.
I must be the only person.
I
think teenagers need to get smacked every now and then.
Oh, they really do. But I would at least give them the chance and do a little bit of social education and be like, "Hey, buddy, that's not cool. Take your feet down." And if they didn't take their feet down,
but if he said, "Hey, man, that's not cool. Take your feet down,"
I'll be like, "I'm gonna crush your toes. Yeah, get ready to lose your toenails up against this plane." Because, bam! I mean, it's just so inconsiderate and just makes me.
It is.
Fuck. I mean,
yeah, I think that's I've never seen or heard of anything like that.
Rewind back to like maybe not the 70s. I think in the 70s it was where the downhill started, but definitely in the 60s, like air travel, like people wore suits to travel on an airplane.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you could still smoke on an airplane, which, oh my God, I'm can't imagine that. That was gone before I started air travel.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was like you got dressed up to go
That's
to
true.
the airport
Seemed
and,
to me
to
you got
travel
dressed
on
up
a
all the
plane.
time.
You really did. You
Yeah.
really did. I kind of like that. I kind of,
You know what I wish they would bring back? I wish they were in style.
the fedoras, the men's hats,
Those, but cloaks, capes.
cloaks. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, back in the Victorian age, I loved all of that. I probably wasn't comfortable, and it was probably designed to keep you more warm and covered up than anything
Yeah.
else. But I loved all of that design.
I do too.
Like
I mean,
the dumb little thing you wore here. I don't know why you like. It was like a little garter on your elbow with your. I don't know why you'd wear
like
those.
you like really the Victorian. Oh, you're talking about it
Yeah,
is.
you know what I'm talking
like
about the
that.
guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
if that was up to me, I would bring all that back. I'd be like,
Mhm.
I love that type of.
I like the kind of more the Victorian era.
Aren't we talking about the same thing?
Kind of cloak, but
Okay.
it's got like the high collar and then like another one cape as a layer, and then like the lower cape,
Yeah.
which goes down to your ankles. I think those are pretty cool.
Yeah. Nowadays, you see a guy and he's wearing usually a black leather jacket, and you're like,
Dude, I have a black leather jacket.
No, but what I mean is,
I have a black leather trench. I don't wear that out much.
that's
anymore.
okay. I'm sorry, not a black leather jacket, a black leather trench.
Yeah.
You're right. Totally trench. You think like, because I know there's a bunch of guys that want to look like Neo. I know
That's
there's a
coming
bunch
again.
of
Yeah.
guys, yes, that want to look like Neo. And so they
Like that
wear those, and you just kind of,
Flowing.
and you just kind of think to yourself, I know you want to wear a cloak or a cape. I get it.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
We don't do that anymore. We don't do that.
We
We don't do
can't
that around here.
We can't do that anymore.
Tell you what, Ren Fair is a lot of fun to fill that need. And not that I wear a cape or a cloak, but I got some Viking wear that I'm like, this is kind of cool for a day.
I would love to wear a cloak.
The thing about the Ren Fair in our area is that it is mid-July. Like it is the month of July. So it's
that's rough to wear a cloak. Yeah.
Long sleeve, fur-lined cloak with a hood. Yeah, we're
that'd
not
be rough.
not doing that in July with possible triple-digit temperatures around here.
Right. I agree.
So.
Excuse me. Yes. I agree.
But that is the first what the fuck segment.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more because there's too much up with this world right now that make people go, huh? So if you have suggestions that you'd like us to cover, go ahead and either email us at johnnyandthegreg@gmail.com or drop us on our social media, be it Instagram at Johnny and the Greg or at our Facebook page at facebook.com/Johnny and the Greg podcast. And we will cover those.
Yeah. Tag it, hashtag it, what the fuck? WTF.
And if you do that, we will welcome you into our fan base of the Marshalls.
The Marshalls, yes. Hey, I don't think this is going to be a segment. I just want to remember when Chris Farley would do that interview and he'd go, you remember that one time that, wasn't that cool? Wasn't that cool? He'd always say it like that. I want to add that today. How cool was it? A little spoiler here if you haven't seen episode 3 of Hawkeye, when he shot the arrow and made it big. How fucking cool was that?
Oh, that was pretty cool. You saw the pin.
So cool.
He shot the Pym arrow at it. You're like, oh.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we've already ruined it for you. So the Kate Bishop and Hawkeye are getting chased by the bad guys, and he tells Kate, "Hey, take this arrow, shoot it up straight, make sure it's really high so it comes down in an arch." And then she shoots it, not knowing why she's doing it. And then he pulls out a trick arrow, which has a Pym particle. And if you guys don't know what Pym particle is,
a blue Pym particle.
Yeah. What that means, it's going to make whatever it hits bigger. That's blue, right? If it's red, it's small.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Right when they showed the Pym the head, I went, "Oh my God, it's a Pym." And I knew exactly what was going to happen. And Ursula's like, what's going on? I'm like, just watch. And all of a sudden he shot it. It hit the arrow in the air, and just this huge arrow just came down crashing on the back of it.
Oh, and we actually had a debate at that part in the show because the kids thought it was an exploding Pym arrow. And I said, no, it was a giant Pym arrow that just ignited the gas tank of the truck, and that's where the explosion came.
But I thought Hawkeye's episode 3 was really good. I really had a good time.
Do you remember that time you shot a Pym arrow?
Yeah, right.
And it made the arrow really big?
Why? Yes, I do. Yeah.
That was That was awesome. I just watched Tommy Boy last night, so that was
my. Wasn't that cool?
Isn't that cool? All right.
All right, man. Greg, sign us out.
Okay, so it is the Christmas season, so you're going to be out. You're going to be with a lot of people, and there's just a pretty large news world out there coming up with the end of the year and lots of things happening. So one, know your sources, know where you're getting them from. To quote my sources today, that I was getting from CNN, and I just did the Google search of parents charged in Michigan school shooting, and it was the CNN article that came up, and that's what I read. So know your sources, know your audience as you're talking to different people, and getting a feel for where they're at. And so you don't have to be insulting, because that leads us into part 3 of Don't Be a Douche, and do not put your feet up anywhere on an airplane.
Yeah. What the fuck, guys?
What the fuck? All right.
All right, man. For the Greg, this is Johnny. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Podcast out, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Yeah.
All right. I believe we stopped streaming.